see all, but we promised ourselves we would never give up. So
Oh
we
no.
tell each other like, "Come on, bro! Like we're gonna do this, even though we have our lows and highs." But we were like,
Yes,
"No, we're gonna keep it pushing because we can see the potential in trading." So you
that's
guys are
true.
definitely a blessing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. If you okay, and okay, let's just do quick introductions so everyone is on the same page, and then we're gonna cover, like we see some trades that we can do and compare them to my MetaTrader and compare them to my MetaTrader. If you can see it here, so you can see live. Let's go back to the platform. So the best thing to do is as you can see me, like open tabs for everyone in here. So I look at the dashboard, the main dashboard, the liquidity dashboard. I have as a one tab, and then I have one tab for the index chart live. They go between them, and I have one tab for Forex performance. And once you become a member with us, you will get the email alerts. So email, either you open the performance and keep watching it, or you will get an email alert and then you come in. So there's two types of people. There's someone who's doing it full time, and there's someone who just like to enter and exit a trade, as simple as quite as that. And then you have the Forex historical chart. So if I left my office for 1 hour and then I come back, then I would like to look what happened in the previous chart. Then I would go into Forex historical chart. So Forex historical chart is based on the history. So everything has been saved on there. So if I just go through it, so this is the main dashboard, as you can see in here. And then you have the live index chart. And then you have the Forex performance. And then you have the historical chart, the Forex historical chart, where everything's been saved. You can just pick the time, pick the date, and pick the column you would like to look at, and it will show it to you. So if you come late, if you entered late, if you log in late, or you were asleep or busy, you come in. I look at each hour what happened, the index chart, so I have an idea of what I've missed, or which one was the strongest, which one was the weakest. And everything in here is based on the liquidity. As you know, liquidity covers the volume, trends, volatility, and for each currency pair. So we have 28 currency pairs. You have plenty to look at, and you have 8 indexes. So for currency pair, you've got the time. So make sure you set your MetaTrader for, or your own platform, your own private platform. So set on the right time, which is GMT +2, or just know that our system is in GMT +2. So right now GMT +2 is 1:52 a.m. in the morning. So, and then you have the date, the time will keep running, it's working. As long as this time is going, the numbers will be going, and the market is running. So it runs 5 days, 24 hours. On the weekend, as you know, the market is closed. So you have the 28 currency pair, you have the prices, the live price at the moment for each platform, for each MetaTrader 4. And then you have the volume number 1. So we make it easier for you guys. We divide it into volume. We made it so you know every number, what does it represent, every column, what does it represent, and what does it tell you as a trader. So let's look at the boundary trading right now. You can see the price at the moment, live price. You can see volume number 1, which is the liquidity coming into that pair, which is just 49, 48. The green, it tells you that the liquidity coming in, or the volume or the liquidity coming in to positive. And then volume number 2, which is the power, the bigger the power. So so I'm just explaining the column, but what we do actually here, we scale the depth market for you, make it easier, clear, so you have better understanding in where to enter and exit a trade. So we say the volume number 1, and then volume number 2, which is the power, volume number 3, which is the difference. So I would like to know the difference between index 1, which is the main currency as a pair, which is the pound at the moment, and then index number 2, which is the secondary currency as a pair. Because as you know, the currency does not come as a signal, they come as a pair. So one index for the pound as a general, one index for the Australian as a general. So index one, the pound is going up right now, 434 in positive, in green. And then you have the Australian index, as you know, is morning in Australia, so they have their stock markets open. So as you know, Australian is coming down by minus 276. Yes. And then, so index one is the first currency, index two is the secondary. And then the difference between them is this index one minus index two gives us 700. So we divide it minus index one by index two. So we get the general, the overall is this difference, which is volume number three, the difference between index one and index two. So this minus this will give us this, the volume three. And as you can see here, these numbers are exactly the same as they move because we have the first 6 currencies are the bound currencies. So you have bound, bound, bound. So clearly you will get the same numbers as index one for the index of pound. And then index two, as they are different because one Australian, one franc, one yen, one Canadian, one New Zealand, and $1. So we understand now what's volume two, three, index one, index two, and then we get the weekly, which is really important, the weekly. The weekly is a backup for the whole week, so from Monday to Friday. So we just started Friday an hour ago. So Friday, as you know, like you see the backup for the whole week. So you see bigger number like 2,600, 1,000. So as this volume number one is finished by the end of the day, it keeps adding or substitute from the weekly. So the weekly for the pound Australian is negative. So if you go and check a new platform, the pound Australian as a weekly candle, you will see it in red. And the bigger the number is the bigger the trend, the bigger the volume. So this is just the weekly. And next Monday, today's Friday, tomorrow, next Monday, we will start fresh again. So it's a weekly based, and then we will save these numbers. And everything you see in here is being saved, everything by price. And if the system takes a screenshot for every price, for every number at every time. So in Monday, you will see volume number one coming in as a Monday, but you will see the weekly is coming in fresh again. So volume one will be exactly as the weekly every Monday as the start of the week. By the end of Monday, it will be saved in the weekly. And then finally, you go the volume tick, which is the scale of the probability of how big or strong is the numbers in general. So the contracts in general when buying and selling. So as I said at the beginning, everything is scalable. Everything starts from 0 to 100 or 200, 300. So we're scaling the market or the depth market for you guys. So volume tick is between plus or minus 36. From 22, we start to look at all the rules for each column. We give it to the Telegram group. So feel free to join. We give you free trial so you can practice on a demo, in a live, anything. You can practice what I say, the rules, the trading checklist for you. What the system does is I can't analyze everything. So the system analyzes everything for you. And it does record, it does see what is happening or what does it change. So whenever there is a liquidity, it creates for you an alert. Yeah. So an alert that comes at the beginning of the trend. You don't want to come like me now. I see it. Oh, it's 36. Oh, I jump in. No, it doesn't work like that. The rules has to apply that you watch, you keep up on the alert and the Forex performance. So whenever there's a liquidity, whenever the system notes something, there is a trend informed, it will give you an alert. And as a member, you will get an email alert on the performance. So if you don't do it full time, you just want signals, you want to enter and exit trade, then the performance and the signals and the email alert will be enough. Again, for someone who wants to expand, wants to make money, more time, he wants to work by themselves, he wants to master this because it's scalable, you can work day and night. We work best time at the best liquidity, UK and EU sessions. However, the system keeps running 24 hours. As long as there is price running in the MetaTrader 4 or your own platform, as long as the price keep continue, the system will keep continuing. And this is an introduction for the liquidity dashboard. You have the index chart. So if you're not good at numbers, say Khalid, I'm not good with numbers, I would like to see these numbers represented as a chart, we have the chart for you. We have by the end, because just the hour is closing, so you have a chart which is called index chart live. You can pick and choose in any column you would like to look at, volume number 1, volume 2, 3, index 1, 2, weekly volume tick. You can pick and choose which index to look at. You can just take them all out. And if you trade euro or just euro dollar, so you will open only euro dollar and you will look at the euro and dollar itself, and each one has its own, as I say, own numbers on representing something. The only thing you keep in mind is the 0, which is the neutral line. So anything is 0. So as I say in the dashboard, I didn't mention it. So for example, this yellow. So the yellow is the neutral. So positive and negative are equally. So they come as the yellow. So either green or red for negative, green for positive. The yellow is for uncertainty or sideways or equally balanced. So if I trading pound New Zealand, I don't want to see a yellow in any of the columns. So if I see yellow, I wouldn't trade that there. I would like to have more trend, more liquidity, more accuracy. We talked about the live index chart. We talked about how to pick and choose, and each one is an hour. After the hour finish, where does it go? It does go to the Forex historical chart. So if you go to the Forex historical chart, each hour is being put in here. So you can look at the previous hour and press refresh, and we'll open it for you from 12 until 1 o'clock. And you can pick the day, and you can pick the volume 1 and 2 on each column. So everything is being saved. Everything is being saved with price, with time and seconds, as you can see in the dashboard. Times here running minute, hours, and seconds. So everything's been copied, everything's been saved for you, even if you wake up or sleep or you miss something or you're coming too late. Anyway, so if you're coming too late, Talal mentioned that, if you're coming too late, you don't need to jump into a trade. So you'd rather to see what happened or what is being discussed in the group first, and then continue and follow with the other members. So we have the Telegram members, VIP group, and VIP channel. We will give the free trial, so you enjoy, you practice as much as you want, and at the end tell us if you like it or it's not suits you. The only thing in this liquidity saves you time, saves you it mute the other noises around you. So you only focus in price, you only focus in liquidity, you only focus in number. So this is the mainly thing. And also what I would like to go through is, yeah, the calendar is the calendar of the month, training is the training. You'll have the videos, you will have the training as well as in the Telegram group. Global news, the economy news, can become an affiliate member and join the family and become part of it. You have the chat room 25, you've got the profile, and the system is based like a society system. So in your profile, you can find me in here. This is me. This is my picture. Yeah, when I used to look good. And you have the activity. You have my profile. You can add me as a friend. You can add me private group with me and you can post or send me any message. You got the volumes. Volumes will be for everyone. So you can upload your analysis. You can upload your trades. You can upload any ideas that you can see. What I show you, and you got the setting. Anyway, what I show you is the way that we've been practiced and we tried for since 2012. But if you find another way of using the system and you think, Khalid, listen, I think if this goes with this, there's a trend. If this goes with that, there's a trend. Do let me know. Do practice. Do try it on a demo. And if that work, we would happy to establish your way. So the system is, this is what we've been trying. This is the final version of it. So if you think you can improve something or you think you can add something to it, we're more than happy to listen to you and discuss on what you think. We're using now artificial intelligence, EA, to open the trade as the expert, so we'll see the rules. So you see the system how it's copying the rules. So it will watch the market for you. When the rules apply, when the trading check apply, it will open the trade in your MetaTrader 4. It will open the trade for you. This is the artificial intelligence, and also what we're working on it. We're working into the take profit and the stop loss. You will have it with us in the VIP group and the VIP channel. We will post our Forex liquidity strategy price action ranges. And in there, you will find you breaking up point, you breaking down point. And the rules in there is that you need the 1 hour or the half an hour to close above or below the price. And in terms of the take profit, you will find take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3. Same rules apply. Take profit 1 is your first target, and then you secure your trade. If there's no news, there's no noises, and if you can see, I remembered something. If you can see in here in the index chart, how do you think the market is more calm? Is when these lines, every line is like every line has been represented for you here in 1 minute. So every dot is a 1 minute. So if you think that the lines go straight, there's no much of collapsing or overtaking or something, then you would think that the market is more calm, is more stable, then you can trade. But if you see a lot of collapsing, a lot of things, then you think is the market crazy, then stick with take profit 1 and secure your trades. Today we had the bounce for buying, and then we secured our trade on the first target and out of the market in less than an hour. Yesterday we had the selling of the bounce, and we secured the trades for take profit 1 and 2 and 3. So every day is different, every liquidity is different. We trade daily. By the end of the day, we close all our trades. So it gives you the comfort that you can sleep well at night after you close all your trades. So there won't be any trades running. And because our trades are based on liquidity, volume, and volatility, you will see the result based on the liquidity, and hopefully in a couple of hours or a couple of minutes sometimes. Depends on the trend. And the most important thing Talal mentioned as well is do not jump too late. Your entry point is critical. Choose your entry point right, so you enter the right way. I think I've discussed most of the chart historical, dashboard, and you have the indexes. And indexes, the rules we posted in the Telegram. After you practice everything, come to the indexes. Index is a general idea. So index bound, like it tells you the bound as a strong or negative, but the volume tick is plus or minus 18. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you with the rules. You have them in the Telegram. The bound index, every index has 6 or 7 or 8 currencies, but in our system, each index you've got the 6 bound currencies, and you've got the euro bound in here. So it is 7 currencies. Their index as a bound is represented in here as a general idea. And always keep in mind that you don't trade any index between, like you find an index which is strong, and the index is stronger, and the index is the strongest. So always keep in mind, if you go to the chart, you would like to trade something strongest with something's really the weakest, like now the yen. So if you look at New Zealand, the yen, for example, and then you picked the New Zealand, as you can see, New Zealand is 80, which is the strongest index, and you can see yen is the weakest index. So if I go to MetaTrade, then you can see, just don't jump too late, otherwise you will be at the end of the trend. So you would rather catch the trend early, secure your trades, and exit whenever is enough of pips. So we have the general stop loss is between 30, 35, and the other currencies like bound Australian or bound New Zealand, as you know, they move very quick. So their stop loss on average between 45 and 50 pips. What was I discussed? The New Zealand, we don't cover indices or gold, but if you ask us, we will give you our analysis as a bonus 1-to-1, the gold and the indices. But I would like, as you know, indices has been very active, very risk takers. So I would recommend that you stay out of it until it can be more like stable. If you look at New Zealand, as you can see here, we say the New Zealand is the strongest. We take this out. Let me take my indicators out. So, like, which time frame you would like to look at? 15? Like, let's say half an hour. So from this point, let's keep continue going up. But we have the, as you said, as you saw in here, is 18 for the yen negative, and the New Zealand was the strongest. So don't jump too late. As I say, you can see the previous index chart, and you can do your own analysis in which one is the strongest, which one is the weakest. And as we discussed in here, as the zero is neutral, above 2000 is the positive liquidity, below it is the negative liquidity. You can see here clearly the yen, and you can see here clearly the New Zealand. We can take them all out and open only the New Zealand or the yen, and you can see is which one is the strongest, which one is the weakest. As you know, is overnight, the liquidity is not as strong as in UK and EU or American sessions. So if we go to the your MetaTrader chart, okay. Oh, sorry, you've been looking to the other one. I'm so sorry, guys. Now you can see. I'm really sorry. Now you can see the chart. So I was doing this. I took. Let me do it again. So I took everything's out. I only would like to look at the strongest and the weakest. As I can see, the New Zealand and the yen. I take them all off and keep only the New Zealand and the yen. So here I can see them in the chart. You can see them in the dashboard. You see the index yen and the index of New Zealand. So you know which one was the strongest, which one was the weakest. New Zealand yen in here already hit its target, already coming down. It's already the end of the trend. So you would like to catch at the beginning of the trend. Same rules, same way applies on the beginning of the day. So you can see here clearly we had the strong movement, strong trend. So from like this time in going up 50 pips. But this is the other currency. This is like the low changing currencies. So this is why we mainly focus in the 10 top currencies. You have an alert on them, you have a signal on them, you have the price action ranges on them because they keep moving more pips, more daily ranges. So we look at the like pound yen, for example, is very strong right now. You can see this price. You can see the volume number one is 147. The power is 4. Difference is 700. So the pound is going down up by 341. The yen is going down by minus 417. The difference between them is 760. And you can see the pound since the weekly has been up. And then you got the volume. So if we look at the look at does anyone have any question until I Do you have any question? Does anyone have any question about the system or confused or would like me to clarify anything?
For me, this is Yomi. I'm kind of still want to start learning it. When you get to a stage where you can only ask questions on what you've gotten to the stage of understanding it. So for now, it's all look like some magic to me. So I'll keep learning and following. So when I get to a stage where I'll ask questions, I will.
Okay. Anyone else has any question?
Hi, Khalid. This is Harry. How are you?
This is who?
Harry Tumanian.
Oh, Harry. Do you have any question? How are you, right?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. A question, would you kindly take a few moments of, let's say, can you do back testing on the index, like, for example, on this New Zealand yen? Can you go back and check, do the testing on the index? And priorly, how did it do? Like, let's say, I don't want you to go too far, like probably a week.
Say that again.
Can you go back a week on a one currency pair and do analysis on the index chart?
On the index chart, on the platform, it only save you the daily. So if you like to look at the weekly, that you can see clearly on the weekly column. So for New Zealand is 264.
No, what I'm saying right now, if you can go to MT4 platform.
MT4.
And yeah, go back to the chart, and then let's do an analysis from May 6th.
From the May of 6. So you can see here, this is the candle of the weekly. And you
can we do on a daily chart or an hourly?
We do in the hourly chart. This is why I was discussing this move of the New Zealand and how it was the New Zealand was the strongest and the yen was the weakest. So this is how the move happened.
Can you kindly show me that signal on the index chart, on a liquidity index?
This move happened. You mean, what do you mean? The movement now or?
No, the movement from a prior, but from the index, from here.
From the index chart. This is the live index chart.
Yeah.
So if we take everything out, you can pick and choose, as I was explaining. So you take them all out. We choose the New Zealand and the yen. Okay, so as you can see here, the New Zealand and the yen was the weakest. This is the current hour. This is the move right now.
Yeah, can we go prior to the move from the MT4 chart?
From the MT4 chart or the platform?
No, from the platform that matches to MT4 chart for that time period that moved.
Just so this is like the past hour. So so each chart is 1 hour long. Yes.
Oh, yeah, each tick. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And when the rules applied for the pound New Zealand, for the New Zealand yen, so I was explaining how to not jump too late. So this is the New Zealand yen. This is the dashboard. The price right now and the volume coming in. This was, when we discussed it, this was above the trend. So your job is not come, it was 36, now coming down from 36 down. But if you see it there, 22, do not jump in 22 because you don't know if 22 coming, because 22 can be both sides, right? Coming from up to down,
Sure.
or coming from down to up. So what people did is they entered too late by the end of the trend. So this is why I was explaining in here how the New Zealand, you see the New Zealand is even turning into yellow because the New Zealand as an index, yeah, and you go yen as an index. Yen is still weak as an index, as you can see here. All are in red. The volume tick is minus 80. So the scale between plus or minus 80.
Yeah.
New Zealand is still the one who correcting, or price moves in dynamic. So the one is weakest, which is the New Zealand index itself. So if you go New Zealand yen, it was very strong, and now it's coming down.
Can we go on the MT4 platform and MT4 chart, and then we can, okay.
This is the MT4 part of the New Zealand
okay.
yen.
So what's the time of what, 16, 18, 1700, the time?
You can like, so
that's,
first you need to check with your MetaTrader for and what time has been set. So it has to be set by GMT +2.
Yes.
Or know at least the difference between them. So you can see the time in here. In my platform, 320, and then.
So now that it's 2200 May 7, correct? So can we go back to the liquidity index and see that 2200? What did happen? How the index moved, the two pairs, the New Zealand and yen?
You want to look at?
Yeah, the history of what happened. Like.
The history, what happened between the New Zealand and the yen.
Yeah. Here, let's check and see what happened. Where you put that vertical line, the 2300, was it 2200 time? So can we check here the 2200 time?
Here you can check the past hours.
Yeah, the past hours. Yeah.
So if we bought the 8th of May, which is today, and you can look from this hour, you can look this hour. The time is changed like about 1:36, and just a second, 2:23, so 1. So this, like if we put the 5 minutes more clear. So this was 1:30, yes? You can see it, my chart?
Yes,
So this is 2:30 and the index 1:30, so the 1 hour difference, yes? So
correct.
If you look, I'm really sorry, but this, anyway, if you look this time, when they changed here, 1:30, 1:36, between this time, which one at 0, they changed. New Zealand became the strongest, this point, the reversal point, yes?
Okay.
They changed between New Zealand become the strongest and the yen become the weakest. And the MetaTrader here, this time.
Correct.
From this time is changed. They changed, as you can see, the doji. Anyway, they changed and become here. So this is the point where they reverse.
So the index, so the 230, it's the reversal time. So here it's going to be 130, correct?
Yes. So the history
So it's going to cross the 2000. Both currencies has to cross symmetrically the 2000 level in order for you to find a weakness, to predict the weakness of the.
Yes. So
okay.
I see one come down, the other one goes up, and I see the change point, the collapse point, and then I have this zero, neutral, and then above zero is the positive, and below zero is the negative liquidity. But you have this point where there's a change, and this is the point where it tells you that's it, this is the end. This the Zoom might cut for like, if you would like, we open another round. Does anyone hear me?
I do.
Okay. So as we explained in here, you can see the changing point, the point that changed, and this is